First of all, I'd like to thank you all for coming to this divine engagement, this gathering of the mastermind where we come together and synergize our energy and bring it together to come up with divine thoughts, to really meditate and deliberate with conscious cosmic intentions to bring forth light and true spirituality and essence, guided by the ancestors. So I want to thank everybody for coming and sharing in this beautiful occasion, this beautiful ceremonial event, as the gods remember who they are and awaken to the knowledge of themselves, so we can transform this planet with love and positivity and peace and bring about a new perspective for humanity to raise into a higher consciousness. So I want to thank you all for being here to share in this experience that's been going on for a long time now. We want to keep it going in that same spirit. I'm going to get right to the subject matter tonight, and I wanted to talk about Barack Obama, and not just talk about Barack Obama as an individual and as a person, but to talk about the office of presidency, to talk about that political position, and to separate that political position from the reality of man, to separate man from politics. So I want to deal with Barack Obama, man versus myth, and the mythos that's added to man through the political system. So I want to touch on that first. That's my first subject matter. Then I'm going to get into some deeper things later. Now, first of all, I'm from a neighborhood where Barack Obama was very present in Hyde Park. And I look at the condition of the community in Hyde Park from the school. I know there's a nice little pocket of mansions in Hyde Park. Nice, beautiful, luxurious mansions where people live. Barack Obama owns one of those mansions, according to my knowledge. But then I look at the condition of the community around those mansions, and I ask my own self, and I ask you to ask the same question: what is Barack Obama doing? And what has he done for the community? You don't have to be a president in order to change the condition of a community or society. That's an illusion in and of itself. So we're all looking to the office of presidency as though the Messiah or some awakened individual will get into that political position or office that's going to bring about some change or some reformation of the ills of society. We look to that political position, and we hope that there's a man who can step into that position who can bring about massive change. But they have deluded us to have us look outside of ourselves for the change that needs to happen. We have idealized political positions and seats and images of individuals outside of our own arm, leg, arm, head, outside of our own body, outside of our own love, compassion, and outside of our own devotional service. We've looked to certain men to change the dilemma that humanity is now facing. And that is a very big and huge mistake. I asked the same question that they said that Barack Obama will get to office, and what is a black man going to do as president? Is a black man going to bring about some change? Is this black man going to represent the change of the world? This is the question they have for Barack Obama. And I said, as senator, what did Barack Obama do that was so spectacular as a black senator? What did he do that was so amazing that made him an extra special senator? Because if we can't find anything that made him an extra special senator as a black man, why are we under the dilemma, under the delusion, that he can do something extra special as a black president? Because we ourselves have got caught up into the titles and to the clothing, into the positions. We have got deluded into those positions ourselves. So that's why we believe that maybe he can get in and do something different. What could he do differently or spectacular as a president that he could not do as a senator? And I take that to even go further. What can he do as a senator or a person in a political position that he could not do as a man who had compassion and love for humanity as a whole? Any man has the power to bring about change for humanity. You don't need a political position to change society. Now, a lot of times people say that they're going to get in these different offices and that they're going to do this and they're going to do that. And what they do is make excellent speeches about what they're going to do and what they can do, and when they get in office, nothing changes. Things go back the way they already were. But we are constantly duped. Like Malcolm X said, we're hoodwinked and bamboozled to constantly believe that some change is going to happen out of those political positions. Now that's this empowering humanity, because we're not looking to ourselves to make the changes that need to happen. We're looking to the offices and not looking to ourselves. So if that's the case, if he gets into office, nothing is going to happen. But if he don't get into office, he has the same power as if he had gotten to office and was really going to do something. Now, he as a man can make powerful changes in the community without being the president. If he took all the money that was put into his campaign to run for president, he could have opened up shelters and community centers and pantries. He could have opened up community projects. With all of that campaign money, he could have changed a community. He could have changed a neighborhood. He could change a society. Marcus Garvey said that charity starts at home, then abroad. If you can't do nothing at home, it's no telling whether you're going to do something abroad on a national level. There's no telling whether you're going to do that or not. So we think that, hey, since these people in political positions, maybe they are doing something. Maybe they're doing something that we don't know about. Hey, we don't watch the news and catch every news program. So maybe they're doing something spectacular that we're not aware of. But if you check the records and you check the history, you find that they've done nothing. They've hid behind those big national images to make you think that it's a possibility that they're doing something that we haven't heard about. But we look at it and check the records, nothing has been done. So that whole office, that whole position, the only reason you have to have images and make such profound speeches to win acceptance by people to get a political position is because you yourself are not willing to do nothing as a man. As a human being, you don't want to do anything because you don't have to convince people about how great you are and how efficient you are for the job. Just do the work. Go do it. If you're that efficient and you're that great at organizing resources and you can do something with humanity that humanity has been unable to do with itself, then go ahead and do it. You don't need anybody's stamp to start helping and changing the condition of society. Why do we feel that he needs that office or he needs the acceptance in order to start bringing about necessary change? Why do we even need that? That's even a waste of time. If he can raise that type of money and resources and that type of love and compassion for him, he can use that same energy to do something directly to change the condition of people. Martin Luther King did it. And he was not even a president. He was just a man that wanted to see a particular and unique type of change happen in society. And he played a very instrumental role in that happening. So I'm saying that we must no longer look to the positions of this system. We must no longer look at the positions of the devil, the positions that have been set up by the devil for our salvation. Those positions mean nothing. We rule back in Kemet. If you can see me today, I'm wearing a Kemetic headdress because we were the rulers in Kemet, and we ruled society. And we had a very peaceful, harmonious, and very advanced civilization in Kemet. If you look at the civilization and you see the pyramids, they've yet to be able to build or reconstruct those monuments. They're incapable to achieve the type of mental advancement that we achieved in Kemet. Now, if we can have such a divine civilization back in Kemet on our own, well, let's go back to Ethiopia or Ethiopia. Let's go back to Kush. Let's go back to Nubia and even lost civilizations of Atlantis and Lemuria. Let's go all the way back. And if we can have all of these advanced civilizations, the Moorish Empire, if we can have all of these advanced civilizations on our own, why do we need the approval of our oppressor to start to be advanced and to manifest our destiny and the destiny of humanity? Why are we looking to him, period, his systems and his offices for anything? Why don't we stand up and be the men that we were back in today, to be the gods and goddesses that we were in the day, to set up a humanitarian society that is going to work to change the condition of our society? Why don't we go ahead and do that? The reason we won't do that, because some people say, well, there were pharaohs that ruled, and these pharaohs had servants, and people served pharaohs and were under pharaohs. But this is what happened. If you are not going to step up and be a righteous leader and bring about dramatic, necessary change for society, then you are going to be a servant of that happen to those who are willing to do it. You are going to have to serve the just cause of those who are willing to do it. If you're not willing to do it, people are tired of waiting for a democratic vote on positive change. We get tired of that, trying to convince and persuade other people. There are men and individuals who have the power, the intellect, and the knowledge, and the ability to bring about massive change in society. These individuals have the ability to do that. And they're no longer going to wait on the masses of people to just all of a sudden wake up. They're going to implement positive change by the power of the ancestors and the power of the Neteru, the Netters. They're going to use the power of nature and invoke these spirits to bring about a massive change of our society. So we're not going to wait anymore. So there will be pharaohs, there will be paharus, there will be awakened Asiatic black men and women who will stand up to position to bring about massive change for society and humanity. That is going to happen. Because if we're just waiting on people to wake up, they're not going to wake up. They don't want to give up the materialism. They do not want to give up their attachment to white supremacy, their attachment to imperialism and colonialism. They don't want to give those things up. So if they're not going to give it up, that means people who have more power than all of these Europeans and his trickery, all of this system, they have more power than that because they are in tune with the divine. And they're going to bring that divine energy to this plane to manifest and change society. There are men who stand forth to do those things today. And those men will be the gods of this time. They will stand forth to shine that light. But they will be just in their position because the ancestors will only back the just. The ancestors and the forces of nature and the universal laws will only back just people as it backed us in our ancient Kemetic societies. We were backed by nature. We would not have been able to do that without the power of the elemental forces to back us. So those same forces and powers are going to back us today to bring about the change that is necessary. So we don't need the people who are caught up in their ambitions and gluttons and greeds in this particular matrix, as it is so called. We don't need them to substantiate or put their stamp on the waking up of the divine people, the waking up of humanity. As long as we wait for them to put their stamp on it, we'll be waiting for a few more eons and more eons. Because some of them are very stubborn and very rigid in their positions. They don't want to give up their seats of ignorance. They don't want to give up their seats of injustice. So since they refuse to let those positions go, how much are we going to keep begging them and trying to persuade them and convince them? The time is over with for that. Now the divine ones are now coming into power to bring about change. And it will come from those who may appear to be leaders. But it's beyond leadership, because we are going to be the examples. A leader is one who seeks for other people to follow, to direct people as a position of authority. We're not talking about that. We're talking about an exemplification of divine knowledge, intellect, and wisdom being manifested through human beings. So this is not a leader-follower type situation. This is a manifestation of the divine. That's something that has to be seen. So this divine is going to act through human beings to bring forth that divine movement that's going to be the change of humanity. So we got to look at that. So now we're not going to use his positions or look to him or look to his society. We need to let that come to an end. We're no longer going to talk or dwell or move within the framework of his institutionalization. We're through with that. We're going to come and we're going to invoke the power and the forces of the universe to protect us and back us in making these profound changes to become elevated. If we didn't need him to build the pyramids, we don't need him now to build the advanced civilization that's going to awaken today. So now it is not a matter of hatred of Europeans. Black supremacy is not hatred of Europeans, but it's a realization of the supreme black state of the black man to manifest God on earth as he once did. All of the cultures and all of the learnings of this European has come from the original black man, even from the Chinaman, even from the Hindu. It has all come from the original black man, the maker and owner of the planet Earth. We are the father of civilization. So we are not going to look down upon our children and hate them, but we will realize our supreme responsibility from being in the image and likeness of nature, the manifestation of the mud and the soil and the trees. That's who and what we are. So by being in that position, it is our responsibility to guide humanity as an example. So we can't depend on our wicked and stubborn children to decide